remind you that God is everything. For the divine in you is what propels you forward in your unique, loving way. So we're happy to have a wonderful guest speaker this morning. And one of the things I want to do is welcome our virtual audience, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are listening, whenever you are listening. Welcome to this fifth Sunday talk about love. So let me tell you a little bit about Reverend Dr. Sherri Lynne Grier. Our guest speaker will close out our August series with the topic, Love Has No Strings. She is the spiritual leader of Creative Metamorphosis, an affiliated ministry with Centers for Spiritual Living. She provides heart-centered teachings, spiritual coaching, workshops, and spiritual development classes that foster deep healing, inner alignment, and self-transformation, helping others reconnect with their inner power, purpose, and divine truth. So please give a hearty welcome to Reverend Dr. Sherri Lynne Grier.
Good morning. It's so beautiful here in Monterey. So grateful to be here. So grateful that Reverend Robert allowed me to speak in his pulpit. It's an honor because not many ministers allow just anybody to speak in their pulpit. And so I am so grateful that he chose me. And so I just want to say, of course, I'm grateful to be here. And I'm here to close out this month on love with you. And for me, this was a great opportunity for me to go within and, check myself around how I show up. And so what I'm going to talk about is unconditional love and acceptance. And one of the things I want to say that we grow deeper in our groundedness as we grow higher in love. And so as we conclude this journey together, I'm hoping that we all take the time to be different, to look at how we love, how we show up, and how how we show spirit through us. Because that's what love is, and we are one with it, So the purpose of this message is to remind us that real love doesn't come with conditions. That's where no strings attached come from. It's about embracing each other and loving each other and accepting what already is without trying to change one another. Now, I know that may sound like a big order, but spirit has no limits, no conditions, and no strings. I want to share something with you. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that love does not keep score. I want you to imagine a place where everyone is kind to one another. There is no one hungry. There is no violence. Just imagine how different this world would be. Imagine a love that does not say, I'll love you if. It says, I'll love you even though. This is the type of love that we are born into, pure, unadulterated love. So I want to share a story with you. It's one of the most powerful stories in the Bible. It's the parable of the prodigal son. It's Luke 15:11 through 32. I'm not sure if many of you know what it is or who it is or have heard of it, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. And this is a beautiful story of unconditional love. So in the gospel, Jesus tells the story of a young man who demands his inheritance. He tells his father he wants all his money right now, and he wanted to leave. So his father said, okay, it's all right, I'll give it to you. And he went away for some time. He partied, had a good time, and he was just living the life of whatever. And then he ran out of money. And at the same time, when they says Murphy's Law, what will happen, will happen? He ran out of money and a famine came. So he had no money, no food, no anything. So he decides he's going to, it came to him to say, wow, I have a father. I need to go back home, and I'm going to beg him to let me just be a servant. So I will have, somewhere to live, somewhere to eat, just be able to go back and live like that. And so he, in his mind's going back, and he's thinking of all these things he could say to his father about, how he's sorry, please forgive me, I made a mistake. And so when he's getting close to home, his father sees him, I would say, way off yonder. And he gets so excited. He gets so excited. So his father sees him and he runs to him. And the son begins to tell this story. To say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I won't do it again. His father stopped him. He wouldn't allow him to even finish. He said, you don't have to say any of that. I'm glad you're home. And that's all that matters. Now that is unconditional love. There was not any chastising. There wasn't any, you should have did this, you should have did that, or don't do it again. That's agape love. There is no requirements, no strings attached to what he gave him. You went and had a good time. Okay. And he was okay with that because he accepted his son for just being his son and loving him. And so love is not about being worthy of it. It's about deserving because of who we are. In the story I just shared with you, the father's love was not based on his son's behavior. It wasn't conditional. And there wasn't any judgment. The father didn't say, all those things I mentioned to you. He didn't say any of that. And this is how Spirit loves us. And how we are invited to love ourselves and others. The universal presence is powerful, and it fills us. It is within us. Think about when you're in sync with it. Think about those times when you were just knowing that Spirit love was who you are or who you were, and you could feel it. And you knew it was God. And so those moments are when we know that we are definitely loved. And then you have those times that you feel uneasy. Well, that's something else going on. Because when we're in sync, when we know that it's God, there's no words you could put to it. But there's this feeling that we're having. And so I'm sure that there have been times for many of us, every one of us at some point, when we tried to prove we were worthy. We said we were sorry. We asked for forgiveness. We cried and we promised we wouldn't do whatever that was again. As children, when someone called us bad, we believed that they didn't like us or even love us. Those words really hit deep. And those times we felt unloved. And so when that happens, that's the conditional part. If you don't behave this way or act that way, those are the strings that are attached to love. But here's the truth. God's love has never been conditional. God's love, God loves us exactly as we are. No matter what we have done, there is freedom in God's love. Because God's love is a love with no strings attached. And so when I talk about love and then acceptance, love is the pathway to acceptance. Acceptance is a natural flow from unconditional love. It is love expressed in action. Acceptance doesn't mean we agree with every choice someone made or makes. It doesn't mean that we excuse harmful behavior. But what it does mean is we see the divine essence within the person, even when their actions are not yet aligned with that essence. It means we choose to recognize the wholeness that lives beneath the surface of their story. Consider the father of the prodigal son. He didn't stand at that door and condemn his son. He didn't make him feel bad. He didn't beat him across the head. He didn't tell him how he embarrassed him or if he embarrassed him. He just accepted him back entirely, freely and joyfully. Acceptance opens the door to healing. It creates a space where people are safe enough to be their true selves. It allows us to live the life we have come to live, fully and authentically. Acceptance is love in action. When we are truly open to love and acceptance, we stop trying to fix, control situations or people. We see beyond the surface. We see the divine truth of who people really are. When we stop resisting life as it is, in this space, healing begins to happen. To accept people, to accept things, is to honor the soul. It is the surrender of letting go of having to have things our way. It is sacred and is about seeing beyond the physical and seeing a person's wholeness even if they can't see it for themselves. It is the quiet miracle that happens when we choose to see someone not through the eyes of judgment, but through the eyes of love. In a world that constantly demands change, fixing and proving, acceptance is healing. It brings both souls into harmony. A holy recognition that we are one. And this is the type of world we are called here to create. Places of unconditional love and acceptance, where people don't have to pretend, places where people can bring their wounds, their doubts, and their struggles, and still be accepted and loved. How might our lives be different if we gave ourselves the same type of acceptance or accepted ourselves the way we have been waiting for others to accept us? What if the acceptance we've been searching for is the acceptance only we can give ourselves? That's something to think on. That's something to think on. And finally, understanding love with no strings attached. Well, that's what this talk has been about. You know, the beautiful thing about love is freedom, the freedom in it. When love is free, it gives us room to breathe, to be ourselves, and to let others be themselves. That's where the real power is. Love lifts, expands, transforms us. It gives space. It allows each of us to show up as we are, while also reminding us of who we can become. And here's the beautiful part. This kind of love is powerful. It heals, it softens, and it creates an openness where walls once stood. Love is the highest vibration and the strongest force we know. Nothing can stop its flow. And so as we leave this place, I want us to carry with us that love with no strings attached. It allows us to love purely, to love because it's our nature, not because it's earned. When we embody this, we begin to see the world through different eyes. And truly, this changes everything. Acceptance shows us how to be open and to open our arms to one another, creating a healing space of belonging. We allow people to be authentically themselves. I have an opportunity for you. This is my invitation to you for this week, to give yourself the gift of experiencing pure love and acceptance. No strings attached. Start with you. Love yourself as you are, right where you are right now. And then let that love spill over into how you see others. Because when we love and accept freely, we step into the truest expression of who we are. We do this. When we do this, we don't just reflect God's love, we reveal God's love. And so it is. So I have an affirmation that we will read together. And I will and that's it. I was on a different line here, okay? So we will read it together twice. I am grounded in a love that has no attachments and loves freely. I am grounded in a love that has no attachments and loves freely. And so let's just close our eyes as we go into this closing prayer. And so I now invite us to take a deep breath together and rest in the awareness of love. And just open our hearts, just know in this moment, we remember that love is not outside of us. Love is the very essence of who we are. We are the light, the breath, the beingness of love itself. As we stand in His truth, we stand in our own authentic selves, not needing to prove, not needing to perform, but simply allowing the realness of our being to shine. We accept ourselves fully. We accept life as it unfolds, and in that acceptance, we discover freedom, the freedom of love with no strings attached. May we walk from this place carrying that love into every step, every word, every relationship. For where love is, spirit is, and where spirit is, nothing is lacking. And so just knowing that there's absolutely the only one life. knowing that it is God, and knowing that this powerful presence moves in and through each and every one of us. So I stand here and know today and affirm that we are loved and that we are open to receive this divine gift that is given to us through the Holy Spirit. And as we go our separate ways, we go knowing who we are and whose we are. May you rest in the truth of who you are, whole, worthy, and unconditionally loved. And so it is.
So we have our homework assignment for the week, yes? A special affirmation of be love, be all you can be in terms of bringing your heartfelt spirit to everything you do with everyone. So one of the things that we practice every Sunday is different types of spiritual practices. So with that uplifting message from Reverend Sherri, I'd invite us at this time to think about the practice of giving, prosperity, abundance, and support for this spiritual community to keep growing and learning and loving together. So sharing your abundance helps us change the world, one person at a time. And I know that abundance practices demonstrates circulation of your love, of money, of talents, of time, of energy that we give to this center, supporting the teaching and supporting our own personal growth on our path. This teaching has been transformative for me in many, many ways and has held me together during moments of challenges and opportunities. So please join with me in saying our affirmation of abundance together. I recognize the presence of God within as a source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And of course, there are many ways to give of your donations. One is by old school mailing in a check, if we still do checks, to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living, 400 West Franklin here in Monterey. Or you can text to give with the phone number on the screen, which is a simple thing to set up the first time around. And then after that, just hit the phone number and put in your donation amount. Or you can always go online to our website, montereycsl.org, donate, and indicate a regular donation, a special gift, roof fund that we're completing and repairing our roof. We're almost at our target goal. And also know that just as the basket passes this morning for donations, that just pour your love into this center. Because one of the things I know for the 72 plus years that we have been a church community, when people enter this sanctuary, they feel this love in this place. And so just pour your love into the offering basket too, and join us all in celebrating the teaching and the transformative power of greater love. This was a wonderful month's theme for me. My granddaughter and daughter visited. And I know that something special is happening in these 3 generations of lives represented together. And there's a legacy that we bring through our example and our role model of loving unconditionally, no matter what the circumstances. Let's see. Reverend Robert left me notes. So I want to remind the communities to support the Raise the Roof campaign. We've almost raised it. I think we needed $4,500 to fix the leaks before the rains come. So we're almost there. Richard, do you remember how much we've collected? What? 4170. So we're very close to the 4,500 mark. So let's get those tithes and donations into Raise a Roof so we don't experience any leaks when the rain does arrive this fall. Also, announcements. I want to thank our entire team of people, because it takes a village to put on Sunday service. From turning on the lights, getting the sound system warmed up, running the equipment, the webcams, making coffee. Today is Potluck Sunday, so thank you for the people that have brought lunch. Yay. So please stay and share, break bread with us, because we do food really well. And it's never planned and organized or coordinated. Spirit just makes it happen. And you know, the miracle of when we do food, there's always plenty and enough, and there's such great variety that's healthy and good for you. So know that, you know, there's some things in life we don't need to worry about controlling, because the wonderful food just comes through the door. September, we will have a new theme called Transcendent Purpose. A really good time to have the theme of purpose emerge in autumn. For me, it's a shifting into kind of like a back to school kind of mentality, because summer is over. The purpose of life is fundamentally about self-realization and recognizing our inherent divinity. So the topic for next week will be, what's the point anyway? So stay tuned in for the first talk of September, when Reverend Robert will return. This talk will encourage us to appreciate the present moment as a vital aspect of our spiritual journey. And that reminds me, did I do my mindfulness practice this morning? I don't think I did. I was too busy jumping out of bed and getting ready for church. So I'll do it tonight. And be grateful for all the moments, mindful moments I'm experiencing now. So I want to say farewell to our Facebook audience. Be sure to comment, leave a message, let us know where you're from. We love having an extended interface, interfere, whatever. The community that virtually can choose us any day of the week, any time of the day. And you can re-listen to our talks on our Facebook page. However, remember that they only stay there for 3 months. Virtual talks last forever on YouTube. So if you miss one that was in January or February, or when I gave my talk in March, just go to the YouTube channel for Monterey CSL and you'll find them. Monday is